Hello and good afternoon YouTube. Hope that you are doing great. Today video is a little bit different from what you got used to. Today we are in one of the top developers in the UAE and in the region, and with one of my favorite sales manager in the UAE and in the region. Today we are with Raisa in Ellington Properties, and she will be so kind to explain to us a little bit about herself and about Ellington as a primary player in the real estate market in Dubai. Good afternoon, Raisa, and thank you so much for squeezing us for a short notice in your very busy schedule, I would say.
Thank you so much for inviting. You know, it's always my pleasure to find the time for you.
Thank you so much. Raisa, I would like to start the interview by just asking you to let the audience and my YouTube followers and my client know a little bit more about you, and then we dive into the business, let's say, of the Ellington Properties.
About me?
Yes.
Okay, because usually, you know, no one is asking, you know, something about me, but since this is the case, I used to be talking about properties, but I'm not really much used to be talking about myself, I would say. I've been living in the UAE for 10 years, I would say quite some time. So, but I have been working in real estate for 12 years.
Oh.
I was born and raised in Ukraine, but my father is actually Greek, so I have quite a complicated
You have
mix.
all the UN in you.
You can say, yeah. So basically I studied foreign languages, and you can say I started traveling quite early. My first travel overseas was at the age of 17, and it started with Greece, actually, of course.
Oh, wow.
And then it carried forward. You know, I visited several countries in Europe, and in 2014, life brought me to Middle East.
That's great. When you traveled, you started traveling from beautiful country to another, from Ukraine, an amazing, a beautiful country, beautiful nature, beautiful people, into Greece.
Your wife is Ukrainian.
My wife is Ukrainian. Yeah, I've been into that country and I love it. And that's an interesting journey. And me also, I was like around 10 years in the UAE, and I'm in love with real estate the moment I touched down here.
Well, it's you know, real estate is something that not always people get that as profession, but it's a passion, you can say.
100%.
Because if you ask me about my education, by diploma, I was supposed to be a teacher of a Greek language and literature. You know, so when people are asking like, what did you study? Like, I mean, foreign languages, whatever, like in the university. But then, like, how did you end up doing real estate? But I started actually in 2010 in Cyprus. So I got involved. Basically, my journey there started as a translator. So it was some company, secret company, that wanted to expand the business in the CIS countries, and I started just as a translator to a managing director.
Bravo.
So after some time I got involved into business development, because there was, you know, such a big volume of jobs to be done, and I started working in Cyprus.
From Cyprus.
Basically, when they were offering me the position, my first comment was that I don't really have experience in real estate, but they said it's okay, we will teach you the most important point is you have the personality, and we will teach you the skills. So I carried forward with that. Amazing. And yeah, I got stuck, you can say.
I always say, to be honest, that for anyone who wants to enter into real estate market or to become a real estate agent, which unfortunately now we see so many, like the market is saturated always. It's the case in New York, in London, in France, in Dubai. It's the case with the market. But I always tell anyone who's starting with us new, if you're not gonna get into the real estate business and consider it a passion, a way of life, not only a job, because I cannot get another job. the barrier to enter into real estate is low, but the barrier to be successful in it is very, very high.
It's extremely high. Yeah.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you. But speaking about the saturation of the market of the agents, if you're talking about people who are permanently and constantly involved into real estate, they are very less than, you know, the flow is big basically. There is people who are coming and going. Well, because they're not taking it professionally, because they don't take it as a lifestyle. For example, for me in 12 years, like I can barely imagine myself doing anything else except real estate.
Same here.
You know, I was involved out of 10 years here, like for more than 7, I lived in Abu Dhabi, but I was doing also real estate, industrial, commercial, residential, different stuff, but always into real estate, and you keep learning something new, and you keep meeting new people, but your approach towards the client, when you understand that this is gonna be a long journey, like it's not just you close one deal, you reach from point A to point B, you make whatever money, and that's like the end of, you know, reaching the destination.
Exactly.
But when you take it in a long-term perspective, it brings completely different results. I mean, people treat you different, and you know, people start recommending you. I mean, like so many things.
One of the main things that for the audience, and I say it in front of you, that makes us really love dealing with you and with Ellington in general, is the human aspect in the relationship. It's always maintained. It's not a business like close the deal, salam alaikum, we disappear. It's always the human aspect in it, and that's, we find it even in the designs of Ellington, that the human aspect is always maintained. It's not only commercial. My next question would be, why did you choose to work with Ellington, knowing with your experience, you have the, like, especially that you started with Ellington when they were just entering the market as a small company, and you stayed with them until now. They are one of the mega players in the market, I would say, and you have the chance to get any offer you want from any developer you want with your extensive experience.
Well, that's actually true, but I have to admit, in the latest couple of years, companies' growth is really impressive. What made the difference, you know, for me, coming back to the point that I have been working in real estate for almost 12 years, and actually reputation matters. And some of the clients and some of the agents that I'm working with nowadays, they have been with me since the time of Cyprus, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, so there are not many, because actually some agents quit real estate, some people are not interested for some reason, you know, to diversify the portfolio, so they prefer to stick to Europe for their own reasons, which they have the right to have. But me personally, I disagree, having lived in this country for 10 years, which I consider it, and I call it home, you know.
Me too.
And when I go on vacation and I'm coming back to, I'm always, you know, like excited to come back to Dubai. And the funny part, actually, the more I travel, you know, the more I love Dubai.
Yeah, same here, honestly. Like, we always go and discover, like, you go on the beach and somewhere else, like, you enjoy the first, second day, and then you start seeing the things that makes Dubai different. That makes Dubai more beautiful, like the cleanliness, the security, the safety, all of these things that we, sometimes living long time in Dubai, we take it for granted, but the moment we move out of Dubai, okay, now I feel it. You know? So
I would say that's a good reason, you know, to remind yourself to travel, you know, to appreciate the things that you actually have. So yeah, and basically because I value the reputation, it's very important for me. Like, reason number one is I have to be super confident in the product I'm offering. Because for me, it's a passion, lifestyle, whatever you name it. It's my long-term relationship with real estate. So I cannot sell something to people knowing that after 2 to 3 years, when the building is ready, they're gonna come back to me with their feedback and ask me, why did you sell this to us? You know?
Exactly.
So being confident in the quality was the main criteria.
Amazing.
And I'm not really good at lying, and you know, so basically if I knew the product was bad, I wouldn't be able to sell. So I have to be convinced. It's a must.
Yeah, it's the clarity of the details that we see even from the moment we touch the brochure that we get from Ellington, to be honest, until the moment the clients receive their property, and the way you see it on their face, the smile that is coming from inside, that makes me understand that I have done my job perfectly, thanks to you as well, and the client is happy. We don't reach into a moment where we have any upset client because he didn't receive it as he wanted or something. It's always exceeding the expectation, and that's something that I really appreciate with Ellington.
Thank you.
On the real estate market in general, now you see that all the news, it's contradicting somewhere in the news in Europe and in US a bit gloomy and a bit dark, while here it's always we are booming. So I want to know your feedback and your thoughts on the Dubai real estate market current status.
Oh, well, it is booming, blooming, booming, whatever you name it. The situation in the market is really good. The prices are growing actually. There is a very high demand for properties. Buildings sell out in a matter of no time, which is normally a couple of hours. A lot of people are coming to Dubai to relocate the families and the business. So it's not that people are just buying properties sake of investing with the hope to sell it at some point in the nearest future. What we're facing is a lot of people are buying the properties for the end use as well. And since there is a population growth, I would say a lot of people who are concerned about the bubble, so-called.
That was my next question.
I would say this is not the case yet. We're not yet there.
You think the prices are still suitable and we will not see such prices in the coming 5 years, let's say?
Well, I wouldn't be able to predict exactly whether it's gonna be 3, 4, or 5 years, because in Dubai, for some reason, the economic cycle is a little bit shorter than in the other countries, but which is normal anyway. So if we're going to be talking about Europe, for example, there is a lot of countries where the economic cycle is reaching between 8 to 10 to 12 years. In Dubai, it might be 4 or 5, but then it also recovers faster.
Exactly.
Because if we look at the situation from the perspective of what Dubai and the UAE government in general, at what they do to improve the country even more and more, probably UAE's economy was one of the fastest to recover after the pandemic.
Exactly.
Because there was so many smart actions taken, and again, the Dubai and the UAE government, the rulers, they are visionaries. They have plans for development of the Emirates and the country for 5 and then 10 years, and then before they reach the plan of these 10 years, they have another 20 ahead. So that is what is making Dubai a better and better place all the time.
You feel that they have that's something I really appreciate in the government and in the leaders here in the UAE. They have a passion for perfection, and now you look at Dubai in general, somebody coming from other country, he will say that it's already a perfect city, what you can make more perfect in it. But they look at it. I've heard once that Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, His Highness, he did an interview, and they told him
I was about to say the same. Why do you strive to be the best, the best, the best now? Why not later? And his reply was just genius. I want my people to live in a better place now.
Exactly.
I want my people to get the best education. I want them to get the best healthcare. And if I can do this now, why postpone?
Exactly.
This
here
was a
in the
brilliant
UAE,
answer.
now the expats are happy, the local people are happy, anyone who's visiting the city, whether it's tourism or moving all their life here, they are happy. Like the taxes are minimal, almost none.
Sure.
And the safety is number one. The security, the cleanliness of anywhere you go, whether it's a very affordable area or a super luxurious area, it's the same level of cleanliness in the streets, in the hospitals, etc.
And the same level of security.
Exactly, that's something.
Regardless whether you're in downtown, JVC, I mean Arjan, or like Arabian Ranches, or Dubai Investment Park.
No matter where.
Doesn't matter how far you are from downtown, the level of the security remains the same.
Exactly.
Yeah,
This is something unparalleled in any other country, to be honest. Okay, what are, let's say, okay, we talked about the current situation, and we see that there is always plans for the future in the Dubai real estate markets. How, like, I'm not asking for like prices or like the economical cycle, but where do you see that the real estate market in Dubai is heading in the future, like in the close future? Because we see there is a change, I would say, in the demography of the offering that right now in the market. Like if I will look around 5 to 10 years ago, the real estate market was offering mainly affordable, normal apartments and master plans that is regular, nothing so fancy, nothing so luxurious. But in the past like especially after Corona, moving till today, we see that there is a change in the offering in the real estate market, and that change is finding a lot of positive feedback from the clients.
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell us more a bit about this?
Well, yes, the market is still on the growth, I would say, and probably it's going to continue for a couple of more years. And speaking about their offering, it's so diversified now. In Dubai, you can find basically properties of economy class, you can find business, you can find premium, luxury, supreme, ultra luxury. There is a lot of branded residences. And I would say probably that is happening for the reason of safety as well. Because safety, again, you do get a good healthcare and you do get access to good education. That is why a lot of even wealthy people worldwide who can afford living in any country, they prefer living in Dubai because you are not getting worried, concerned when you leave the house and accidentally forgot your door opened. You are not getting worried if you left your car on the street opened. You are not getting worried if accidentally you dropped your wallet in the middle of the shopping center. You are not getting worried where, like when you send your kids to school or when they come back, you know, nothing would happen to your children, nothing would happen to your property, nothing would happen to your car. It's extremely safe, and I would say that attracts, I don't remember the statistics, if I'm not mistaken, it was announced that last year like 15,000 millionaires moved to Dubai.
Wow, that's if we are not talking about the billionaires yet.
We're not talking about the billionaires, yes. Yeah, but then yet, if you look at the supply and demand, you know, there is supply for everything, but there is a demand for everything.
Correct.
And as we said, you find properties from 1 million dirhams up to hundreds of millions for palaces, mansions, branded penthouses. Well, that's a beautiful place to enjoy.
Exactly. We started seeing tickets that we never thought that it would be in Dubai, like numbers of flats or even mansions. One of the mansions that you have, the one and only, 330 million dirhams. We didn't see such tickets before in the market. It was like rare, very rare. now we see and it's in demand. It's being requested, and every day we see on the news that such big ticket was sold, registered in Dubai Land Department, which is really really great. On the story of safety, actually, about 2 weeks ago, one of my cats became extra smart for a cat. We didn't lock the door, so she just opened the door, and all the night the door of my villa was open completely, wide open. And we woke up, I went down, and I see the door is open to the street, and not even a towel is missing from my villa. And for a second I was like, how it was open, but then I looked at it like, I'm in Dubai. Can you imagine if this was in any other country? It's really incredible.
Well, sadly, in some other countries, sometimes even if the door is locked, that doesn't guarantee the safety.
Exactly. Unfortunately, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Now, I wanted to ask you. You have so many clients, and you have, I'm sure, so many experiences. What are the most common fears your client express while choosing a property or when they come to you, and how do you address them?
The most common fears is that one of them is that the project is not going to be built. Where basically, to address that, I would say that again, Dubai government has arranged quite a clear consolidated system with Dubai Land Department, basically, where everything is regulated. All the processes of project registration, property purchase, property sale, everything has been regulated. So in order for the developer to obtain a permission to build, the developer has to have the so-called escrow account,
exactly.
where it's a third-party account with the bank, which is being controlled by the land department, which guarantees that the money of the investors are going to be securely saved on this account until the completion of the project. So when the developer is completing the project, the developer gets the so-called BCC, which is the built-in completion certificate.
Exactly.
That is the time when they get the access to escrow account and they can take actually their profit. So it's impossible, of course, if you're buying from a trustworthy developer who is doing everything as per the law, it's impossible for the investor to put your money somewhere and then to lose them.
Exactly.
As is. So having a facility of escrow account is point number one. Fear number one, I would say, if there is such a thing or not, from the clients. Another fear is that the property is going to depreciate.
Okay, that's a good point.
So if we're talking about financial logic as such, and this does not relate to Dubai only.
Correct.
What I'm always telling to all of my clients, that prices can never go up all the time, nor they can go down all the time. This is normal. There is economical, financial cycles in all of the countries worldwide. So it's normal that the price would go up and then the correction is happening. You know, inflation, there is many aspects that are affecting. Then they would go up a little bit again, they would go down, they go up a little bit again, they go down. But it never happens that the price would go down this much and then drop this much and then, you know, grow a little bit. And so it's vice versa, it's the opposite. So if you look, for example, we're in 2023, look at the prices of 5-10 years ago, look at the prices of 2008.
Yeah.
So the prices keep growing. Even provided the inflation rate, you are still getting a capital appreciation. The only thing what I would suggest to investors is that even if crisis happens, don't panic.
Exactly.
You don't have to be dropping your property at the price of below original in order to escape. I mean, you are not in a trap. You own a property in Dubai. So that itself is a good capital,
of course.
You know. But unfortunately, coming back to professional agents again, what I'm seeing a lot on social media, there is a lot of agents, brokers, whatever you name them, on Instagram and other social media platforms who are advertising an opportunity to invest 10% of the property value and to make 70% of profit on 10% of invested capital in a matter of 2 months, and then they say that this is literally all you need, and then you exit and then you sell. It doesn't work in Dubai. It doesn't work anywhere in the world like this, because this is not a game. You are reserving your wealth, you are growing your wealth, and that cannot be happening in a matter of 1 or 2 days.
Exactly.
No business will give you 70% return on a 10% of invested capital in a matter of 1 or 2 months.
Of course.
It's actually people like this are the ones who are creating the bubble. But what is happening then, the problem that we're facing sometimes, that the people who would purchase a property, it might be that this 10% is literally all they have.
Oh wow.
And then they are not able to continue the payment plan, and sometimes it happens that they get to be the defaulters, and then it's a cancelled deal and the property get back to stock, which doesn't happen a lot with us, but I mean with some other companies, projects, I'm hearing stories like this. So as an advice, what I would recommend, I would like to recommend to clients and investors who consider to purchase property anywhere in Dubai, if you are buying something off plan from the developer with the payment plan, be sure that you have at least 50% of the property's value.
Exactly.
In this way, you can continue the payment plan until you complete 30-40, like at least 50% of your payment plan. Then there will be, of course, some visible progress happening on the project itself, and instead of having this as a cancelled deal, you would be able to put this on a secondary market
and
for
you
sale.
Can sell it, exactly. And you can make profit even.
And you can make profit, but not like 70% or double the money, but decent capital appreciation, I would say.
That's what I honestly tell my clients. In one of my videos, I was telling them, challenge your real estate advisor. Challenge them. Don't take their word for granted. If you are talking to an agent, challenge them. Even if you are dealing with me, with any other agent, you take my word, search it, do your due diligence. If I'm recommending for you a project with Ellington, check all the history of Ellington. Check what was the initial price, how much people are selling it in the market. Check during Corona, for example. This is one of the examples I always mention to my clients. Even in the affordable area where I would say more than 60% of the properties in JVC during the Corona crisis were almost empty. While if you would try to rent a property from Ellington, you 100% is rented. It was like very, very surprising for me, you know, like I see that the properties of Ellington are always rented, and when I tell that to my client, okay, there is now so many transparency in the what is it called, in the real estate market, and there are so many websites that can show you the history, that can show you the transactions, that can show you everything.
Land Department itself is having an open data.
Exactly. So the Dubai Land Department is always trying to be as transparent as possible in terms of the sales, the rent, and everything else. So people have to do their due diligence and not only take for granted everything that is the agent are telling them. And I honestly, I feel sad to hear stories that, oh, the agent recommended for me to buy a studio, I don't know, in an area that is unknown for like so much amount of money, and then he wants to dump it in the secondary market in a crisis, for example, and he's shocked that the price has dropped, I don't know how much. Because, as you said, the loss is not registered until you sell. So if you sell in a panic mode, that's everywhere in any country around the world, they lose money. But thankfully, the market in Dubai real estate, it recovers very quickly. Like I know some European countries from 2008 till now, they didn't recover. While Dubai, in less than 6 months, they started opening the restaurants, they started opening the streets, everything during the corona, where other countries were still suffering. The response from the government, the agility of the government was like second to none.
But even the actions that have been taken to minimize the cases, like the cleanliness, the hygiene, I don't think so any place in the world can compare to
Honestly,
what was happening in UAE. You had the masks in many places. You would enter, people were given the masks, like, you know, in the different like entities and organizations, like the masks for free, sanitizers, like whatever, you know, name it. So the hygiene measures are, I mean, I would say beyond competition.
Yeah. I would like to go back to Ellington, the brand. What do you think makes this brand stands among? We have now, I think, more than 40 big developers. I would say like 40 developers in general, and you still see Ellington between the top. I still find it difficult to compare them. Not because now I'm in Ellington, honestly. I find it difficult to compare the quality of Ellington to other developers. Unless if we are talking about like very extremely high ticket prices, then we can find something. But if we are talking about the average prices, when we're talking about one bedroom for like 1.5, 1.6, 1.4, we don't find such quality in the market. So I want to know. Yeah, you will not, exactly. So I wanted to know from you, from your experience with Ellington, what makes the brand stand out?
Well, there is few points that I would like to highlight, which is, first one, of course, is the quality. The quality of the building structure, the quality of the materials that we use in the fit out, the space utilization, the size of the apartments. We have high ceilings everywhere with floor to ceiling panoramic windows, and of course it's the facilities and amenities what we do. That depending on the area, like project to project would slightly differ, or some of the projects would be having their own highlights, you know, which would be different from the other. Some of the facilities are only in this building and are not repeated anywhere else. Some of the facilities are only in this building. So basically, as a company, we position ourselves as a design-led boutique developer. So this is exactly what is making us different.
Okay.
We don't have any single project copy-pasted from the previous one. We have, if you look at the interior design, if you look at architecture, we have the so-called signature that you can see through, but nothing is copy-pasted.
Yes, yes, there is a theme.
The quality of the materials is always one of the best, but yet if we're talking about price per square foot and the value for money that you get in our projects, I don't think so you find the same for the same amount of money anywhere else. But the color palette would be different.
Yes.
Yes, it might be the same specifications of the porcelain tiles, but we don't do like the other developers throughout all of the communities, all of the projects, all of the buildings.
Same.
It's just like huge bulk, you know, like I mean, I don't know, supply, and they use it for all of the projects. It's the same ceramic tiles, you know, like which is the 60 by 60 standard size. If you look at our properties, we use like highest specifications of the porcelain tiles, but then For example, in some of the projects it might be wood looking like parquet, you know, in some of the projects it's a different size, 60 by 120, which looks like a stone, like marble, like different things. The texture is very good. So the same for kitchen countertops. Our kitchens are always fully equipped with all the built-in appliances.
Yeah.
We have, you know, in all of the projects, little niche shelves, extra drawers to organize your stuff, you know, around the house. So space utilization wise, we're seriously the best. I would strongly recommend you to visit one of our latest showrooms, which is for Dubai Hills. We have extended the kitchen cabinets beyond the countertop.
Yeah.
So we not only have a full-size U-shaped kitchen, but we have some more cabinets even behind the counter, which you may use not only for plates or glasses or whatever. You might use it for storing books, laptops, I mean, I don't know, kids' toys in case it's a family, because most of the houses are always lacking space for storage. So we always provide that.
All right, that's great. For the audience, subscribe, stay tuned for the visit of the brand new showroom that is for Dubai Hills from Ellington. It's perfect. I have taken a glimpse of it, but soon you will see it on this channel as well. Raisa, you talked about that Ellington is a company that is led by design. I know you've told us before about the history of the company, who was behind it, a person who's like a guru in real estate, and the design team is like the soul of this company. What does the design team, when they start any project, they focus on? And you see that this focus is appearing, whether it's an affordable project, whether it's a high-end project, whether it's an ultra-luxury project. What's the thing that you see they are always focusing on?
Well, as I said earlier, it's of course the quality, and it's the facilities and amenities. The infrastructure that we provide in our buildings cannot be compared with anything else, again, for the same amount of money. So if we're talking about the rate per square foot, value for money, we're the best. If we're talking about what we provide for people's convenience, we are the best. And what our design team focuses on a lot is, again, convenience and space utilization.
Amazing.
So you have a beautiful, spacious house. You have a lot of, I mean, different things inside the apartment that have been created for your convenience. But then again, we have beautiful kids playground areas. In most of the projects we duplicate them indoors and the outdoors, because I mean, we're still, due to the climate, you know, we're living in a country where 4 to 5 months during the day it might be a little bit hot outside. So probably you wouldn't send your kid to play on the outdoors in the midday, 1 p.m. in the afternoon, for them not to get the sunstroke. So we do beautiful kids playground areas indoors in the air-conditioned rooms. We do beautiful lounge areas.
I've seen that.
We do beautiful libraries. We always provide a co-working areas with very nice co-working tables which are equipped with sockets and the USB ports.
Wi-Fi.
We provide free high-speed Wi-Fi everywhere in the common areas. We have very nice gyms where basically, if you live in our building, you can quit a paid membership and you can exercise indoors. We always use only Techno Gym, which is a professional Italian brand. We don't use anything else except that. We have beautiful swimming pools. In some of the buildings, we have even 2 swimming pools, you know. For example, like we had in Highbury, one of the top, on the top floors is an infinity swimming pool facing Burj Khalifa. And then we have another one on the podium. We have standalone pavilions for library loungers. We have yoga studios, we have dancing rooms, we have music rooms. We have barbecue areas, we have tennis courts, basketball courts, cinemas. I don't think so you find this anywhere else in Dubai.
I would like to mention something that stands out for me. Herbs and
In
farm.
Highbury, yeah,
In
yeah.
the Highbury, you have a small farm. When I would consider it's like a stress relief. You can plant your own herbs in a tower.
Tomatoes
In a tower.
cucumbers,
We're not talking
anything.
about a master development, we're talking about a tower, but this tower looks like a full city in an area that really, it's like a jewel will be standing out. I cannot wait until this tower finish, honestly. I've talked to some of my clients there and I'm sure that they will be impressed when it's finished.
Well, we have already started construction, the progress is going on.
Amazing.
But they are going to be extremely excited, trust me.
Amazing.
If we're talking about that project in particular, we have close to 30,000 square feet dedicated for the facilities and amenities.
Wow.
That's like a
30,000.
city in the building.
Yeah. That's what I believe, like, mainly as a developer, you focus on that humans will be living here.
Yes.
Not only how many apartments I can do in a certain amount of area.
Well, that's another point what is making us different. Usually we decrease the quantity of apartments and we maximize the facilities and amenities.
And that's even good for the people who are investing with you to rent the apartment, because it's always going to be rented. There is nothing similar.
Well, that's why we get 100% occupancy rate.
Yeah, exactly. No one, I don't believe any of my clients enters to an Ellington tower and says, let me check something else. Because if they have checked something else before, they directly know, oh, okay, this is the one.
Yeah.
Now, what are the projects from all the projects that you have worked on and that are coming in the future that you can't wait until it's completed to take a tour in it from Ellington project?
Well, again, we have, each project is having its own highlights, but the most exciting ones for me would be, I absolutely love Upper House in GLT.
Yeah.
The project consisted of 237-story towers, mirror reflected, opposite of each other, with very big pools, skate park, tennis courts, basketball courts. But the gym that we have in Upper House, for example, was a gym with double height ceiling, which had a climbing wall inside.
Climbing wall inside the gym, inside the tower, guys.
Inside the gym, inside the tower. Absolutely free for residents, free to use. With a yoga studio on mezzanine level. And all of this was, and we have, by the way, the interactive fitness in the gym as well. And all of this is located at 20th floor with floor-to-ceiling panoramic windows, overlooking the Jumeirah Island with Montgomery Golf Course and the Emirates Hills.
Wow.
On the 37th floor, we did.
We still
like,
more.
No, that's not the end. Yeah, we did like we called it penthouse for everyone. We did lobby, lounge, dining area where you can book it through the concierge to celebrate a birthday, invite some of your friends, like make a little party there, play with kids. And that one is at 37th floor, facing the same Jumeirah Island, Montgomery Golf Course with Emirates Hills, which is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
And Crestmark, which is, and it's not that I'm advertising to sell it because the building sold out.
By the way, guys, the one in JLT, the upper house was sold in 2.5 or 3 hours.
Yeah, one of the buildings in 3 hours, another in 4. Yeah.
Wow.
370.
When I tell my clients in Europe, they don't believe me. They think that I'm trying to push them to book quickly. But then I go to the lunch and I take for them video of the amount of people that are just writing checks. They're like, it's incredible what's going on in Dubai. I'm like, the demand is massive.
I had clients when they were, you know, like receiving an offer in Wednesday, Thursday, and they would say like, okay, I would discuss this with my family over the weekend, come back to you next week. I was like, come on man, next week it's not gonna be available anymore.
Exactly.
I wish it was, but it will not. So, upper house is sold out. Like I'm just, but not for sake of advertisement, but just explaining what
I
we did.
I
love also Crestmark, and I'm looking forward to you know, get that project delivered because, for example, that building is going to be having a bowling for the residents. Which other residential tower like has a bowling? I mean,
so
if you want to play bowling, you go Blue Waters, like, you know, in Braswanki or something. You have to book. But this is for the convenience of the residents. It's going to be having a beautiful restaurant with a spacious terrace overlooking the canal, with the yoga studio which is almost hanging in the air because it's a little bit outside the perimeter of the building, but again with double height ceiling with panoramic windows, you know, facing the floating villas and the business bay skyline, which is beautiful. I love Ocean House on the Palm Jumeirah.
I was going to talk about that.
Like that one is having an Olympic 50 meters long swimming pool, sauna, infrared sauna with a salt cave.
And
is there any other project in Dubai that is having a salt cave?
You keep surprising me, guys.
Like you have a spa resort at convenience of your doorstep, like free to use.
And the tower is completely covered with travertine stone?
No, actually, that depends. If we're talking about the facade, that's GRC, which is the glass reinforced concrete. That's a little bit different material. For the facade, travertine is used for the internal fit out, which is in the common areas inside the apartments. We have the marble used on the fit out as well. We have the teak wood. I mean, kitchens are fully equipped with Emilia appliances, which is the top German brand. But the salt cave is something outstanding.
I remember when you advertised for this project, it was like super minimal advertisement of a yacht passing through water, and that's it, nothing else.
Because it's on the east crescent of the Palm Jumeirah.
Exactly, and the bookings for this tower were incredible, and people didn't yet see what it's going to offer, but they understand that it's going from Ellington. it's in Palm Jumeirah, so it's going to be like nothing else.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
By now, I think we have 8 or 9 apartments left.
Wow. Wow. And we're not talking about small tickets, guys.
And we are talking about the prices which is starting from like $2,300,000 US.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's for 1 bedroom?
No, that's for 2 bedroom.
Ah, the 2 bedroom.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In
All right.
as per configuration of this building, we did not have the 1 beds in this project.
Okay.
The 2 beds, a decent size, 160 square meters.
Yeah.
But we had duplexes, we have penthouses. I mean, the project is absolutely beautiful.
Amazing. If you ask me, the 2 projects, or like, yeah, the 2 projects that I'm waiting for so much and I want to enter to them is the Ocean House.
And Highbury.
Highbury, yeah, Highbury is amazing, but I want to enter into your master plan, which is the Sanctuary. It's only mansions, it's your first master plan, and I know when you do something for the first time, you're always taking care of details, but this one will be like, you will be picky on the details, because it's just a showcase of what Ellington can
Let
do.
me tell you something. We are looking into slightly increasing the community.
Wow.
Because before we had only 60 villas.
Yes.
We are gonna be having a couple of more clusters. So that,
Great.
yeah, we don't have yet brochures, materials, exact sizes and pricing. However, if somebody's having an interest for the spacious villas with the
Mansions,
access,
actually.
well, yeah, I mean it starts with 700 square meters.
Yeah,
the
700 square
smallest.
meter, more than 7,500 square foot built
feet,
up
yeah.
area.
Yeah.
That's that's a half a building, guys.
Well, yeah, and if we're talking about 6 bedroom, that goes to 14,600 square feet, which is like 1,350 square meters. Plus
And
minus.
you are living in an exquisite, tranquil community where literally super green, super beautiful, super quiet, and you are only 7 minutes away from downtown.
Yeah, that's quite close.
Yeah. So you just get in your car if you don't want, if your business or your company is in downtown, but you don't want to live in the hustle and bustle of the city, 7 minutes and you are in your own heaven, I would say. All right, I would like to close the interview with like, I know you have given some advices for our client, but for a person who's buying real estate in Dubai, what advice that in your mind always you think that I wish I can tell this advice to everyone that is thinking of buying property?
The first thing that actually came into my mind is Habibi, come to Dubai.
Yes.
The most important advice would be, don't waste your time, try to purchase your home in Dubai as soon as possible. To enjoy the hospitality in this country, to enjoy the service, to enjoy the beautifully lit areas all over the city. You know, actually I have a family visiting me now in Dubai,
Amazing.
And in the community where I'm staying, when we're entering the island, there is the palm trees wrapped around with guirlands. And
yes.
then when my nephew saw it, he's like, are we celebrating the New Year or something? You know? Lights like literally everywhere. Look at downtown on Sheikh Mohammed Rashid Boulevard,
yes.
you know?
Yes.
It's the same thing, like all of the palm trees, the bushes are beautifully lit. Again, everything is super clean, people are friendly, all of the nationalities, cultures and religions
living together in a harmony.
In a harmony, like people of different cultures and religions are friends, you know, like nobody is fighting for no reason, you know, it's just like that. It's extremely well organized. You get, if we're talking about the hotels and hospitality and F&B, you get, I would say, one of the best service in the world.
Yes, correct.
Again, as much as I travel in Europe, I love Italy. I recently came back from another trip, and as much as I love Italy, nothing compares to Dubai.
Well, yeah, well, I really appreciate your time. I know your schedule is very tight. Thank you so much for all the information, for this beautiful interview. And I would like to tell to all of my clients, my subscribers and my viewers, you've heard it from the best, and it's in Ellington. In case you are interested in any property, any type of property, whether we are talking about a studio up to a mansion, don't hesitate to contact me on the numbers below. And for sure, if you are buying with Ellington, directly we can meet with Raisa and get you your home sweet home, hopefully in the amazing city of Dubai. Thank you so much for keeping up with the interview, and take care. Stay tuned for the show apartment, the new show apartment, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button. Take care, peace. Thank you, Raisa. Thank you so much.